Hey y'all, this is the first part of a conversation I had with fellow One Piece YouTuber Sigma D Leo. The second part is on his channel, so go check that out after this, and yeah, enjoy.
Yeah, Baby Moria as like the shadowy, I don't know. I wouldn't find that interesting.
Yeah, like Oda would show it, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
You have any theories for what's coming up?
I mean, wishful thinking is like something with Sanji versus Kizaru would be like the wishful thinking, but I feel like it's too soon. Because I don't think Sanji, like, even at his top speed, is like gonna be able to match Kizaru for that long.
Okay, question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you feel like if Kizaru was to like kick Sanji by surprise, like a sneak attack, like he did Hawkins, do you feel like Sanji would be able to dodge it?
Ooh, I'll take Marineford. I think it's fair to argue maybe that Sanji and Marco are of relative speeds to an extent, and Kizaru and Marco seem to at least to an extent be able to match Kizaru's speed. Not that he definitely did, but like to an extent. And Sanji is someone that supposedly specializes in observation hockey, so I could see it possibly being done. If it's like a full speed, like full power Kizaru kick though,
eating that kick.
it would be hard, because I think Kizaru's top speeds are obviously better than Sanji's, right? So it would be really hard, I think.
Fair enough. Yeah, I feel like the Seraphims are not gonna stand too long against Luffy and Zoro.
For sure.
Especially the fact that they have Kaku and Mushi there. I'm thinking Garcia and Kizaru may show up, honestly.
That's like the main, like, I think that's like the biggest thing that happens. It's either that or like some other character pops up, or like I don't even know what would happen. Like, the worst part is right now I just don't see a huge threat for Luffy, unless Luffy's like not actually Yonko level, which I wouldn't really believe at this point.
Oh no, so he definitely is. At this point he is.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. Do you feel like Luffy is stronger than Kaido, or do you think like, okay, Kaido did lost, but it was very much like contextual?
Actually, this was a topic I wanted to bring up. I did think Luffy was stronger than Kaido, because I thought at 100% he would be able to like go for longer. Last chapter, I think it was. That's actually really nerfed Luffy for me, where he was talking about like, oh, I'm so tired from running around and stuff. I heard that and I was like, you kidding me? Is this guy really like that was really wild to me, right?
Like, you can't compare it to Kaido's stamina, because I feel like Luffy is on Kaido's level, maybe with a bit of an edge in Gear 5. But Kaido's was fighting for a long ass time, you know? So
I think
Luffy
the
went
way
Gear 5 towards the end.
For sure. I think the way I'd argue it right now is similar to how it's kind of always been, where like Luffy has a power-up that can take him to the level above like the main villain of that arc, but he can't sustain it for the whole time, right? So like Snake Man was kind of, you can make an argument, was above Katakuri, but he can't sustain Snake Man for the whole fight.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's the same with like Gear 3rd and Lucci back in Eni's lobby. It's the same with Gear 4th and Doflamingo and Cracker back in Dressrosa and Whole Cake Island, right?
That makes a lot of sense, actually. It's a good way to see it. Because the way that I power scale is like, I feel like certain characters, let's say Garp, or okay, let's use Rayleigh for example. I think Rayleigh is Admiral level.
Yeah, same.
That the more that he fights, the more he looks more like a first commander because of his stamina. Luffy, I feel like he's Yonko level when he's in Gear 5, but when he's just in base Gear 4th Advanced Conquerors, I feel like he's Admiral. Your take?
Yeah, I think the only thing is that advanced, or were you saying Luffy with Advanced Conquerors was Yonko level as well?
No, when he has Advanced Conquerors, I feel like he's Admiral level, like high Admiral.
Oh, okay.
What really puts him Yonko is when he's in Gear 5th.
I could see that. Honestly, I would say, yeah, because if I consider high Admiral level characters like Akainu and Aokiji, which I kind of see as like a bit of a blurred line between like high Admiral and like Yonko level.
Yonko, exactly.
I get 100% agree with that. Like I don't even know if Gear 5 Luffy is taking out like Akainu though right now.
Yeah, honestly, I think last conversation we had, you asked me if I think Luffy's gonna stay like silly, or is he actually gonna be able to show emotion when he's in Gear 5th? I think yes, because rereading the fight against Kaido, a couple of times you can actually see him being angry. So Akainu is definitely gonna adjust some, like, you know how to, when you use future sight, you need to be calm and stuff. I'm not sure if Luffy's gonna be able to be like so calm in front of Akainu, so that could play a part.
For sure. I could honestly... Actually, the question I have, speaking of Akainu, is Akainu versus Kaido right now, what do you think is like the winner of that? Post like Aokichi fight Akainu.
Damn. Okay, that's a good question, because wishful thinking, me, Akainu. That's my personal bias, because I do want the villain that remains to be bigger threats. But honestly, Kaido's kind of different. He's different, so I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like Kaido is stronger, but Akainu could win based off will. I know he's not the main character, but when I look at that character, I'm seeing, okay, this guy has immense will, you know? Like,
for sure.
With Whitebeard, he came back. So hot take, I'm gonna say Akainu. Hot take.
Honestly, I don't know if I agree. I think they're definitely in the same ballpark. I would say they're around the same ballpark with characters like Shanks, Mihawk, and like those type of characters. Maybe Aokiji if you want to stretch it, but like, yeah, I actually could see it going either way. But man, I really want to see post like Aokiji fight Akainu go full out. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be honest with you. I do think Kaido is stronger, but I would still put my money on Akainu. I'm just a betting man.
For sure.
I'm just a betting man. Yeah, Kaido has the status quo. We gotta respect it.
I completely agree. Kaido's got the reputation.
That being said, if you could see Akainu versus Aokiji or Mihawk versus Shanks, what fight would you pick?
Oh shit! Oh shit!
That's a tough one.
Yeah. So I personally, I love Aokiji more than like Mihawk and Shanks, and more than Akainu, but I love Shanks and Mihawk more than Akainu. I think I would have to go Aokiji versus Akainu just because of like, it's the Mihawk versus Shanks duels. You could debate they were like a little weaker, but like Aokiji versus Akainu is like one of the most extreme diff fights we've ever heard of. So like,
for sure.
Oh,
like, definitely would be flashier. Yeah, for sure. I wish like they could work on these type of projects post One Piece. I don't care for a spin-off. Like, show me some off screen, you know.
Yeah, show us like the fights we never got to see. Yeah, like especially like
please.
I think the fight I'm most looking forward to seeing, if we see it in the manga, is a flashback of Rocks. Like, I want to see Prime Garp go full out. But even just seeing like Prime Garp
Rocks need a movie.
Yeah,
those cards, they need a movie for sure.
Honestly, yeah. Like, did you watch Jujutsu Kaisen?
Listen, I read the first chapter.
Okay, because like Jujutsu Kaisen has like the whole Jujutsu Kaisen Zero thing, which is like about like other characters, and it's like if they did that shit where like they show like a prequel of like other characters, but they did a whole movie for characters like Rocks and shit like that. Oh, that would be so fucking epic.
Money. Yeah, listen, if a musical was able to beat like every record, Rocks movie is just gonna blow up.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I need to ask you, why did you choose to do a power scaling channel? Because when I looked at your video, power scaling, which I respect, but was there a reason particularly why you wanted to focus on power scaling?
Not many people talk about One Piece power scaling, or like not many like huge channels talk about One Piece power scaling, and I found myself, man, there are some videos I've seen from like big channels talking about power scaling, and I'm like, like I like all love, but if I see one more Enel versus Kizaru video, I might lose my fucking mind. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, and I have like only respect for them because like they're insane to get to the position they are. But like, I think there's a niche there of like people that really want to like go into the.
It's definitely a niche.
And I was already a fan of like a lot of power scalers. Like I was a fan of like people like Swag Kage and people like that. So like, not as much of a fan of his friend, but like, you know.
Yeah. But I feel like the way you do power scaling is very healthy. You know, like when we talked last week, we didn't agree on everything, but we can't even debate. That's how much like healthy it is. So tell me, or do you have any tips for people who want to power scale and just like remain sane? Because I think like we have a bad rep sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. So it's actually funny because I've been posting some of my YouTube shorts on TikTok, and that's like one of the most like toxic power scaling like communities I've ever seen. Like,
100%.
I think the most important thing is understanding, and I see it in like community posts all the time, understanding that like a lot of fights are arguable. I think, for example, Mihawk is over Shanks. I think there's multiple arguments you can make for Shanks over Mihawk. I think there's like actually like good arguments you can make for Shanks over Mihawk. And I say the same thing,
I
like
think so too.
from like I think for Shanks, Mihawk, Kaido, and Akainu, I think you could order those and Dragon. I think you could order those in any way possible, and like make actually good arguments for all of them.
Yeah,
and
we don't have enough information.
For sure, like. But I see so many people go so hard, like, you're wrong if you ever say this, like, no way, it's impossible. And it's like, man, dude, like, they're not that far in strength,
offended, like, exactly. It's like what they treat the character like their father, and it's like you said, most of the things can be arguable, and it's really, like Stanley said, the author decides who's the winner at the end of the day. So if you're asking somebody to rate a fight that never happened, got to come up with the scenario that they think is most likely in their head. You kind of have to respect it. If to me Sanji and King are comparable, right? I think Egghead Sanji could probably defeat King, but let's say in Wano, I favor King a little bit. Somebody was like, "Why are you downplaying my boy Sanji? Like, why are you downplaying my boy King?"
It's like they're so close. It's like you can make an argument for either. No one, and maybe it's because like I'm just a fan of like philosophy arguments and all that stuff, and just that type of community as well. No one can ever think that like something is arguable. Everyone has to like put all their eggs in one basket, and they can never change positions, they can never change opinions. Like even in this conversation, I told you like I used to think Luffy beats Kaido, and after that last chapter or 1074, I'm like, I don't know about that anymore, because holy shit, he got tired way too fast, right? And there's no need to be ashamed of being wrong, you know? Like I posted a short, or I posted a TikTok on about like I thought Mihawk was the strongest character alive, besides probably him. And
yeah, I saw you made a video about like him defeating your favorite character, right?
Yeah, but I also have a short of it, and man, the amount of people that just said like get Mihawk's dick out of your mouth, and I'm like, man, what the fuck? I'm like, I love Mihawk, but it's like he's not even in like my top 5 characters.
Yeah,
like, you know, so
your favorite strat is Sanji. You don't hear that a lot, do you?
Sorry, say that again?
Your favorite strat is Sanji, and you favor Mihawk as a top 1. You don't really hear that a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Sanji fans are the ones saying like, "Oh, why are you rating Mihawk so high? You're a Zoro-tard."
Like Sanji isn't even just my favorite strat. He's my second favorite character, and like,
damn.
And Zoro isn't even in my top 10. And it's like, I love Zoro, but like, it's not like I hype up Mihawk because I love Zoro and I'm like a Zoro-tard, right? Like
exactly, you're objective.
That's just
what
like
I'm saying. So. Anybody listening to this, gotta sub to my man Alan, man. There's no reason you wouldn't sub to this guy, you know. Editing is clean. Like Kaido says, how far can you go with that editing?
hey, fucking hell yeah. But same to you, man. Like, sub to this guy, Sigma. That's the boy right there. But yeah. Yeah, honestly, it's a really, I hate to say that, like, I think One Piece, Naruto, and Dragon Ball Z, I think they all have pretty toxic power scaling communities. And I think, like, just looking at the way people talk to each other, it's like, man, people need to chill the fuck out. Like, I just seen way too many people get, like, so angry about, like, a TV show, you know what I mean? And I just think people need to chill.
And the sad thing is, like, we're all fans. We all love the same shit, you know?
For sure, yeah.
And I keep saying this to, like, some people are, you know, lucid enough to talk with me when they disagree. And me and my brother, we have a lot of different takes on Naruto and One Piece, but we're still brother at the end of the day. So we can argue, but at the end of the day, like, it's all love. That's what I want people to understand. Like, it's not because you're behind a screen that you need to be, like, extra.
like even 4 takes I think is like ridiculous. Like if I hear like someone say like Enel is Yonko level, I think that's ridiculous, but like I'll at least pose an argument for why I think like there's just no way, right? Like if someone says Enel's Yonko level,
somebody's take for sure.
For sure. Like if someone says Enel's Yonko level, I'll just say like, oh, well Luffy could hit Enel pretty easily without any gears, so like could he do that to Yonko as well? It's like no fucking way, right?
How many Yonko level do you think is left in the story?
Right now,
beside the Yonkos that we know, which
besides
is Luffy and Shanks.
And Blackbeard?
Blackbeard, yeah. Blackbeard.
I think Akainu is a pretty obvious one. Dragon's also up there. I think Aokiji's up there. I'll go out on a limb and argue I think Old Garp is also a little up there, just because, mainly because of how impressive Sengoku was, at least in Marineford, and we're supposed to assume that Garp is stronger than him, and like how impressive an old sick Whitebeard was in Marineford. So I don't have a big problem saying like Old Garp could be like a low Yonko level character. Other than that, I think you can make an argument for Ben Beckman, just like, but it's like super headcanon-y. I think you can make an argument for him. You could probably make one for Kizaru as well, but I'd probably put him at like I feel like Kizaru, in my opinion, is what like is like the very middle of Admiral. So, but I still think you can make and then like there's other characters, like you can make an argument for Gorosei if you want, but like I think right now that's all the characters I would consider. Oh, and Mihawk, obviously. Yeah, I think those are characters I'd consider Yonko level right now.
Talking about Garp and changing opinions, I used to downplay him so hard. Like Garp and Goku, I used to downplay these two, but recently I've changed my opinion, specifically on Garp, because I always thought for some reason they were all around Rayleigh's level. And Rayleigh's level to me was like, okay, you're on Kizaru's level for a little bit, but you're gonna get yourself tired. I'm thinking about it. Rayleigh was off battle for like 25 years, sipping tea, spitting on some girls. And like he wasn't really fighting like that, but Garp is like top shape, you know. Like I take like jogging in the morning. I keep chasing some Marines, and even if some pirates, and even if they're not like super strong, Garp is like he feels like a healthy old man who took care of himself. LeBron James,
No, for sure.
So I feel like Garp is still, for that reason alone, I say Garp would distinguish himself from Rayleigh, who was chilling, and Sengoku, who was sitting behind a desk. So yeah, you do have a point saying that he could be up there for sure.
And I mean, like even Sengoku, like maybe older Sengoku post time skip is like maybe gotten like weaker than characters like even like lower Admiral level characters, but like Sengoku in Marineford, man, that guy was no joke at all. Like the dude was like all the Blackbeard pirates. Yeah,
he took like 10 years in that time skip.
Yeah, right? I know, right? The downgrade, right? Yeah. So
I don't know about that, but yeah, he could be impressive too.
Yeah. And if I just consider Garp above Sengoku, then it's like, okay. Like I'd actually consider like Marineford Sengoku at like Kizaru levels, and then I'll just consider Garp above that. So that's my opinion, but like you can make an argument for Kizaru being way stronger, considering that he could have been like you could easily make an argument like Akainu, Aokiji, Kizaru, at least pre-time skip, were like all the same strength. So I think there's like many arguments you can make, yeah.
Okay, this is how I see it. I feel like Admirals and Yonko are definitely more powerful, but that doesn't mean that Admirals cannot win. Especially when you look at the fight of Big Mom against Kid and Law, you know?
For sure.
So Admirals have a fighting chance, but Aokiji and Akainu, after Marineford, they kind of elevated with that 10-day battle.
No, I completely agree.
Elevated, and then they distinguished themselves from Kizaru, who used to be around them. Akainu and Aokiji went above and beyond with that 10-day fight. And then, so now I feel like they are more like Yonko, especially Akainu. And Kizaru is the Admiral level. The way that I look at old character like Whitebeard, for example, I feel like, okay, he's a Yonko level in Marineford, but the more he fights, the more he starts to look like an Admiral level. That's why you were seeing like Kizaru running laps around him.
For sure. I could completely agree with that, yeah.
I do have another question for you. When it comes to your theories about Shiryu of the Rain.
Yeah, Shiryu of the Rain. What a sick character. He's really weird because like he has a statement saying like he's equal to Magellan, and Magellan in himself is a really weird character to scale because like he's like he could be anywhere from like admiral to commander level because like poison could just like one shot everyone, but you kind of have to hit the point. So Magellan's already a really weird character, and saying he's equal to Shiryu when they're completely different characters is already really weird. Right. Honestly,
You feel like Shiryu was stronger than Blackbeard when they met?
I think you can make an argument for it because just solely due to the fact that Magellan beat all the Blackbeard pirates with his poison.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shiryu would have blitzed him. Execute a bug. No devil fruits. He blitzes Darkness Blackbeard.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. I think really right now, the thing that really interests me about Shiryu actually is that I feel like maybe this is like just my headcanon, but I feel like the Straw Hats are gonna fight the Marines before the Blackbeard pirates. So
it's tricky, isn't it? Because then when you think about Zoro, how does he does his thing? You know?
Yeah, right. Like, does Zoro go from fighting like either I don't know if he's gonna fight Fujitora or Green Bull, but like if he fights an admiral, does he go to fighting an admiral to fighting Shiryu? And then is Shiryu like gonna be stronger than the admiral? That'd be really weird. Actually, the funny thing is, what's more interesting to me is the fact that if Sanji fights Kizaru, what Blackbeard pirate is he gonna be fighting next? Like, I don't see a Blackbeard pirate besides Shiryu ever being above the admirals, right? Unless like they get a huge buff.
Exactly. I do think strongly that Sanji could fight Lafitte. And Lafitte, we don't know nothing about him. Honestly, Blackbeard pirates are very mysterious, but there's a lot of reasons why you don't think that they might be the last opponents unless Blackbeard works differently than any other villains. Like, we have a fight against the Blackbeard pirates where every Straw Hat defeats their matchups except Luffy, and Luffy meets with Blackbeard alone at the end.
Yeah, I definitely think it could be possible.
He loses his crew before the end of the story. That could be a possibility.
I actually kind of unrelated, but like an interesting thought I just